folks? It's Michael, and welcome to another edition of Covenant Nation. And this little guy, I guess anyway, this is my dog Tinky, and this was totally unexpected, of course. But Tink, I'm trying to do a video, buddy. Yeah, I'm trying to do a video. Yeah. Anyway, I'm probably going to start this over again. I have entitled this this edition, even though you see what is anti-Semitism up on the screen, I've actually entitled this chapter, edition, episode, whatever, right? The Cowardice of the Rabbis. So that's why I put this up here. What is anti-Semitism? You know, you can break this word down, anti-Semitism, and it doesn't mean what your dictionary definitions say, right? It looks to me more like a word that has just been coined, and really it has, that if you criticize anything at all Jewish, any criticism, right? Oh, you're an anti-Semite. Oh, you're a Nazi. Oh, it's like tantamount to be calling a racist, right? An anti-Semite. I tell you what, that's a word that scares the living shit out of Christians. That's the last tag they'd ever want, is to be an anti-Semite, right? Because they think if you're an anti-Semite that now you're at war with Abraham, right? No. I mean, if you want to take a look at the greatest anti-Semite according to that definition, right? The greatest one that ever lived was Yahshua himself, right? Because he tagged them as the seed of the serpent, as a brood of vipers, as liars, as being from their father, the devil, as being murderers, right? You can't say that about them today, man. They'll send the entire Israeli government against you, and every rabbi that ever lived will rise up and curse and damn your name, right? You know, we did a thread many, many years ago on a really great forum called the Truth Seekers, and the thread was called Truth or Anti-Semitism. You see, now if you are willing to have that tag slammed at you, oh, you're an anti-Semite, well, guess what? You're probably speaking truth, because these are people that are so terrified, absolutely terrified of truth. I mean, they shake and piss their pants and poop their pants just over truth, that anything about them might be exposed as, you know, oh, God. You know, and it's like, here we have, and you guys know I've been kind of going off on this past couple of episodes, right? Toby the singer. Well, I had another video that, you know, went across my YouTube page, and now he is out there, of course, and you know this is where the guy's going to go with that he's just proclaiming that Yahshua was a false prophet, right? And it's like, really? And he says, according to the Jewish Bible, you know, Yahshua is a false prophet. And I thought, what kind of freaking Bible are you reading, dude? If your Jewish Bible declares Yahshua is a false prophet, man, I'd get rid of that thing in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I mean, you guys, Jews should know this, right? All right, you prophesy falsely. Okay, fine, you're a false prophet. Okay, but if you prophesy truly, yes, you are a prophet. However, that's not the only test. Deuteronomy 13 is the big one. It's one that Christians refuse to use, is Deuteronomy 13, right? But this is the ultimate test, people, of whether or not somebody is a prophet of God or not. If they lead you away from the law of Moses, they are a false prophet. If they lead you away from the keeping of the commandments, from obeying his voice and keeping his commandments, they are a false prophet, right? And I defy any of these sick rabbis to prove Yahshua led people away from the law of Moses, to prove that he turned them away from the commandments of God. Because I'm telling you, people, these rabbis are liars. Take the words of Yahshua to heart, man. Figure out what the seed of the serpent is, right? Go back and read Revelation and quit assuming, Christian, that you have all wisdom, all knowledge, all discernment, all understanding, all wise counsel, because you don't. You don't. I tend to go off on my rabbit trails. I've been doing that a lot lately. Um, anyway, as I was saying, that we had done this thread on the Truth Seekers Forum called "Truth or Anti-Semitism," and so what we did was we didn't take the common Webster's dictionary definition of anti-Semitism. You just take anti-Semitism. Let's just define what each one of these words mean, right? Anti, against. Semitism from the name Shem, right, which means the name. In essence, what anti-Semitism is it's not being anti-Jewish, people. It's being anti the name of the living God. That's what that is exactly what that word means. But it had been redefined in Judaism to say anybody that criticizes us is criticizing the living God. That's what they're trying to say to you. If you guys get in there and you study what some of these rabbis are saying today, they are claiming that the Jews collectively are the Messiah, right? Which is like, God dang, man, I hope not, because you people suck. You got a great sense of humor. You had fantastic comedians. But as far as righteousness, everywhere you folks go, you destroy nations. You destroy the moral fabric of nations. I suggest anybody out there who's even got a little inkling of true curiosity, if you want to put it that way, go find yourself a copy of the 13 Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, and you will see a master plan for the destruction of nations, a master plan for unraveling the moral fabric of any nation, right? Geez, man. And I tell you what, Henry Ford, is, according to the Jews and according to liberal Democrats, Christians, Republicans, just about the whole world, is a famous anti-Semite. Well, you know why? Because he read the 13 Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, and it scared the living hell out of him. He saw what was going on, and he saw that the plan was already in motion. For heaven's sakes, the Federal Reserve was part of that plan, people. And anyway, you ought to read it. You really should. So anyway, anti-Semitism, what is it? It means anti the name, right? So it's like, if you guys know anything at all about Judaism, and it's like, these are people that claim that they are the chosen of the maker of heaven and earth, right? And yet, if you utter his name, if you utter the name of Yahshua Elohim, our God, if you utter his name in Israel, they'll kill you. It is a death penalty offense, people, to even declare the name of the maker of heaven and earth in this religion. It is a death penalty offense, and they claim to be the ones who love his name. If you loved his name, Jew, you would declare his name. You would declare his name. You would revel in his name. You would magnify his name. You would exalt his name if you were of him. But you don't even know him. You don't even know him, Jewish person. You don't even know the maker of heaven and earth anymore. You have come under such oppression by your rabbis, such lies from your rabbis. I don't even know if the average Jewish person is aware that the Talmud is the sludge of Babylon. I tell you what, I'll go up to any Jew, and I tell you what, we'll open up our book to you, and you can read anything you want to in our book, right? But I guarantee you that Jew will never open up the Talmud to you, because if you read the stuff that was in it, it would turn your stomach and make you sick. Some of this stuff from the rabbis, people, that they pulled out of Babylon is just, oh my God. No wonder the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Sheeshamunga. I'll get right back to you. Folks, sometimes I just got to sit back and listen and ponder really about what I'm talking about here. And I'll tell you something. Yesterday morning, as a matter of fact, it's kind of like, and you're looking at these rabbis, right? Guys like Tovia Singer, and they're going out and they're shipwrecking other messianics. He doesn't give a flying rat's ass about Christians. He really doesn't. He'd just as soon say, you guys go to hell in a handbasket and boil in everlasting excrement. That's where they're at on this thing, right? They despise you, Christian. I wish you knew that. I mean, I wish you had a revelation of Delilah, right? Yeah, the one who cut the 7 locks off of Samson, the one who separated him from the Holy Spirit. I wish you had a revelation of just who this chick is, right? Because this is the one you've gone to bed with, Christian. You go to bed with Jews, you go to bed with Delilah. You could have been like Samson, but you got seduced. You got seduced. You thought you were looking at a pretty woman and you were just looking at a pig with a ring in its snout. Sorry to be so graphic, but spiritually that's exactly what you're doing. As I was saying, and I brought this up in a video I'd done a couple of days ago, and here's the deal. Let's just talk about something like this just for a moment here. It's like Christians, when they want to go out and they want to do their spiritual war, they want to go out, they want to debate with Jews, right? They'll put on their whole armor of Paul, right? And they get buried in that armor of Paul, right? Because that's not how you do it. You know, that is, oh God, it's just, oh geez. All of you could sit these Christians down for a little while and just reason with them. You know, it's like, this is how you overcome people, not with your stupid armor of Paul. You overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. And Christian, if you have the testimony of Yahshua, no Jew, no rabbi could ever stand against that testimony. You know why? Because it bypasses the mind and it pierces the heart. You guys keep trying to argue with Jews in the realm of the intellect, in the realm of the mind, in the realm of mental knowledge, right? That's not how you do it, people. You do it through the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony, and you love not your life unto the death, right? You don't shrink from it. You don't run away from it. You don't bend your knee to it. You stand until they take you down. Even if they take you down hard, and if they don't kill you, you get back up again. You overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony, and that testimony is your testimony of Yahshua. And as I say, and I hope you guys can hear this, right? You're in the realm of the heart, people. When you're speaking about Yahshua, you are in the realm of the heart. You're not in the realm of the mind, you're in the realm of the heart. This is where he sowed his word. And if you would allow that word to come up out of your heart, right, it would testify of the wonders and the glories and the magnificent things that have come to you in the name of Yahshua the Messiah. No Jew can argue against that. No Jew can argue against that. What are you trying to tell me, Jew, that this one Yahshua that you call a false prophet, that this one and his people, that they dwell in this place called love, mercy, compassion, empathy, understanding, that these people go out and they feed the poor, right? They take care of the poor, they feed the hungry, they go visit prisons. Are you trying to tell me that these are the acts and the works of the followers of a false prophet, you lying piece of shit? Yes, Mr. Singer, you are a liar, a murderer, and a thief because you're stealing the truth. You've stolen the truth and you've crapped on it. You ain't got the guts to walk in the commandments, dude. You just haven't got it. You have not got the heart, sir, to walk in that first commandment which says you shall have no other gods before me. But you've got many, 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 many. You have millions of gods that you put before the maker of heaven and earth. And every single one of them is called rabbi. The rabbis are the gods of the Jews, man. And I tell you what, they are liars, thieves, and murderers. All of them? No, obviously not. But the rabbis, they know truth, and they will dig the deepest pit they can find and bury the truth, and they always have and they always will. Why is that? Because they're the seed of the serpent. They are born of the liar, people. They are born of the source of the liar. And if you think that's anti-Semitism, no, it's not. Anti-Semitism is when you bury the name of the living God and you kill people for uttering it. That's anti-Semitism. That's an ancient word for Antichrist. Ancient word for it, against the name, right? I'll tell you another reason why they hated Yahshua, because he did declare the Father's name. He did declare it, and that drove them up a tree. They didn't know what to do with that. How did he get that name? How did he figure out that name, right? That's one of their great mysteries. How did he figure out the name of the Father? We had buried it. Nobody was ever supposed to know that name ever again. But Yahshua did. Gee, wonder how he knew that. Perhaps his daddy told him that. Ever occur to them? Anyway, so yeah, I'm going off on a couple of tirades against rabbis, right? Not against your average Jewish person. I feel sorry for them. I could have pity, mercy, and compassion upon them, you know. God dang, man, I tell you, you have to have been born under a curse to have been born into the Jewish religion. And that's speaking a whole lot of truth there, too. This is a people that called down a curse upon themselves and their posterity, basically forever. His blood be upon us. Well, people, when you've got innocent blood upon you, when your hands are filled with innocent blood, guess what? You are cursed. You most certainly are. And again, man, when you take a look at the fact that, take a look at what Yahshua said. Judge not and you'll not be judged. Condemn not, you'll not be condemned, right? And you could also throw in there, curse not and you'll not be cursed. And yet this is a people where their rabbis, as I said, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, for many, 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 many centuries, daily they would gather 3 times a day to curse and damn and blaspheme and crap on the name of Yahshua and his followers, right? Curse not and you'll not be cursed. These folks are they have so reinforced the curse upon them through their rabbis. Curse not and you'll not be cursed, right? But this is a people that is cursed of God. Why? Because they curse him. Because they curse him. You don't find anything remotely resembling righteousness, mercy, faith, compassion, empathy. I've never in all my life witnessed that in a rabbi. I've never beheld that in any rabbi that I've ever met. I tell you, there's this one, my wife and I had this friend of mine back in Seattle. It was back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And I had this friend of mine, he was an Orthodox Jew, and he was a really good guy. Oh, God, I like that guy so much. Anyway, so my wife and I, we fellowship. His name was Bob. And so one day Bob took us to the synagogue, or took us to the Jewish school, because I was wanting to buy a shofar. And they had one at this place, so Bob took us there. So we go in, and the rabbi greets us at the door, right? My wife sticks out her hand to shake his hand, right? And he pulls it back like, oh my God, it's like she was a leper or something like that. But they're not allowed to. It's just, oh God dang, man. The women have to have their heads covered all the time, right? And they don't like that at all. So you know what they do? They just put on a wig, right? This is my head covering. That way I don't have to look weird. But anyway, but you take a look at the normal practice of Jews, and you know what it is? It's nothing but loopholes. Nothing but loopholes. How can I escape obeying this commandment and still appear before, the people that I'm righteous? How can I, what kind of loophole can I find to, to not honor my father, to not honor my mother? What kind of loophole can I find to not keep the first commandment and still, deceive myself into thinking that I'm a righteous man? How can I do that, And that's most of what their religion is all about, is loopholes, right? Just go back and read Matthew again, right? Yahshua said that Moses gave you the law and none of you keep it, right? Well, it was true then and it's true now. So I'm going to ask you people, who's a true anti-Semite? Who's a true anti-Semite? Somebody who criticizes Judaism. The Jews are people that sit there and slam and damn and curse and crap on Christianity 24/7. But by golly, you speak a word of criticism against them and you're the same as a Nazi. You're the same as a racist. Oh my God, you criticize the Jews. You're an anti-Semite. Who gives a flying rat's ass about this word? Who gives a flying rat's ass if you get that tag put on you or not? Might be a badge of honor before the eyes of the living God, but it's a thing of terror to a Christian. Absolute terror to be called an anti-Semite, right? Well, I'll tell you what, as for this fella, I don't give a rat's ass. I really don't, right? There ain't nothing in the words of Yahshua that says that you cannot rebuke a people, that you can't rebuke them. And these Jews, they need one mega stout heavenly rebuke. They really do. Get off your high horse, man. I tell you what, you come after Yahshua, you come out. I don't care, Jew, if you want to come after Paul. I don't give a rat's ass if you want to do that. You come after Yahshua and you're going to tangle with somebody you ain't going to want to tangle with. Yeah, we'll tangle. We'll tangle. We'll tangle. Because I tell you what, when you talk about Jews, you talk about rabbis that come after our Yahshua, they come after our King. You know, I'm going to tell you an image. I'm going to share with you an image that comes before my mind, right? And it's this. I see a lion. I see a lion seeking whom it may devour, and it has invaded the flock, and it is grabbing the sheep, and it is devouring them. And you got to ask yourself, what would David do? What would David do if he beheld and saw such a thing as a lion grabbing his lambs and ripping them to shreds? What do you think David would do? Well, I'll tell you what, even as a boy, he'd stuff that sling with a nice, smooth, white stone, and he would wind up and he'd let that thing fly 90-0, and he'd split that damn lion's head in two. And let me tell you something, Christian. You want that stone? You want that stone? It's called the testimony of Yahshua the Messiah. It's called testify as to what he has done for you. Testify, and I'll tell you what, that lion's head is going to split. Testify, Christian. Testify of Yahshua. Testify of him. Testify of him. The rabbis are terrified of your testimony because they can't fight it. They can't fight all the testimonies of all the, and as I say, the true Christians, the ones who had the word sown in their heart by the son of Adam. These ones, not the Pauline Christians, the true ones who really are nuts in love with Yahshua and his word and his teaching. The ones who are zealous for him. I guess the only thing I was really trying to say there is that no Jew, no rabbi will ever defeat the testimony of Yahshua the Messiah. You stand on your testimony, Christian, if you're talking with Jews. You stand on your testimony. And it's like, what are they going to say? The only thing they can call you is a liar. The only thing they can do is project the crap in their own heart upon you and call you a liar. That's it, right? But what do you do with millions of people who have literally met the Son of God himself? And when they met him, they were broken. They were overcome. They were repenting of their sins. They were crying for his name. They were being filled with the mercy and the presence of God himself, right? Millions of people have that testimony, that they met him, and they who were unrighteous, they met him, and with all their heart they ached and yearned and longed to be righteous. What are you going to say? Those are the works of a false prophet? You stinking piece of crap. You don't know the living God, and you never have, and at that rate you never will. You are a people destined for destruction. God dang, man. But you think about that. You think about all the testimonies of Yahshua that go to waste when Christians want to argue Paul with Jews. Sheesh. Folks, this is Michael, and you want to call me an anti-Semite? I grant you that freedom, but I'm not. You call me an anti-Semite and you're a liar, because I honor the name of my Father and I honor the name of our King, right? Something no Jew has ever done, ever, nor will they, unless by the mercy of God their hearts are pierced with the word of truth. Finally, after all this time, you got a lot of messianics out there, but unfortunately they've been swallowed up in Paul. Now that is tragic. Oh God, that is tragic. For for somebody who knew the law, the prophet, and the Psalms, to get sucked up into Paul. Oh my God, dang, man. Well, for fear of the Christians, Messianic, for fear of the Christians, you can no longer speak the truth that you know in your heart to be true. That these people who have forsaken the law of Moses, why do you not, Messianic, come on, man. Why do you not confront them on that? You know the truth. You hide it from these Christians, and you're no better than a stinking rabbi. You hide the truth from the Christians. My God, what kind of favor do you think you're going to get with the living God? These people would listen to you. The Christians would listen to the Messianics. They really would. If you confronted them on having abandoned the Sabbath, they'd listen to you. But you don't. You don't. Because you just swallowed up in Paul, and you lost the love of the living God. You lost this thing called love your neighbor as yourself. You lost this thing called do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. If you knew that by forsaking the Sabbath it was going to cost you your salvation, wouldn't you want someone to tell you the truth? So why don't you tell them the truth? Why would you choose the hypocrisy of your ancestors and forsake the righteousness of the Son of God? Why would you do that, Messianic? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think you guys are playing games, but maybe you are. Maybe you are. But it's high time these people got confronted on their crap and on their blasphemies. It's high time they were confronted on their lies. It's high time that you Christians found your white stone and you stuffed your sling full of it. It's high time you did, Christian. Find your stone and split that lion's head in two. And you'll sleep well that night. You will sleep well that night. This is Michael, and I'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Bye-bye.